Hey everyone, today is finally that day, the long-term review over 1 year of my Alienware M15 R7. So, not going to beat around the bush. The whole more than 1 year I have had this laptop. I have really enjoyed it. It's been money well worth spent. And would I recommend it now in 2023? Hell yeah. Would I recommend it over the newer Alienware with the 13th gen and GeForce 40 series of graphics cards? I could say, yeah, if you want a just as fast but possibly not quite as fast laptop as the 13th gen, but if you want the better display, I would go with the M15 or the M18 over the newer versions of the M18 or the M16 and the X16. And here's why. So, if I could only use three words to sum up what I love about this Alienware M15 R7, and you can call me a fanboy, but here are the three words that I would say would sum up why I love this M15 R7. It's steady, it's fast, and it's entertaining. And let me explain. Let me give you guys a brief recap of the specs on this Alienware M15 R7 with one of my most favorite parts about the laptop, the screen. The screen is a 15.6-inch 2560 by 1440, 240 hertz, 2 millisecond response time display. It's Dolby Vision certified and it's got 100% of the sRGB. I measured 98% of the Adobe sRGB and 99% of the DCI-P3, although Dell Alienware has them at 100% of the DCI-P3 color gamut. My laptop came with the Intel Core i7-12700H, 14 cores, 24 threads. It came with a GeForce RTX 3070 Ti. Although looking back in hindsight, I wish I would have purchased the one with the 3080 Ti because the 3080 Ti has more GPU memory. The 3070 Ti only has like 8 gigabytes of graphics memory. The desktop version of the 3070 Ti has, I believe, 12 or 16 gigs of memory. And the 3080 Ti mobile version on this has 16 gigs of memory. It came with 16 gigabytes of DDR5 4800 megahertz. I upgraded it to 64 gigabits of DDR5 5200 megahertz. The standard SSD configuration is 512 entry level. I bought mine with 1 terabyte of NVMe SSD Gen 4 drive, which, as you guys seen in the previous videos, they've been pretty fast. But I upgraded both slots to 2 terabyte NVMe SSD drives. And it came with the 1 year premium service for any kind of issues, for like 1 year premium warranty service. And those are the hardware highlights of this laptop. But the other thing I like about this laptop, other than it's missing a built-in like SD card reader, it has plenty of ports. It has almost as many ports, except for the SD card reader, as my Gigabyte Aero 15 OLED. The newer ones do have. That's the one thing the newer ones have. The new Alienwares have over the old ones is that they do have SD card readers. I believe on the M16 it's a full-size SD card reader, and on the X16 it's a micro SD card reader. So on the M16, M18 it's a full-size SD card, and on the X16 it's a micro SD card. But you have two USB-A Gen 3.2, and then on the back is where all your most of your ports are. We have a USB-C port with Thunderbolt charging, and I believe you can charge it if you have a powerful enough charging brick, like say over 100 watts, which I didn't have. Another USB-A port, Gen 3.2. HDMI port, Gen 2.1, which means it can support 8K monitors or TVs at up to 60 hertz, or 4K TVs and monitors up to 144 hertz or 120 hertz. And then right here is your power socket, power plug port. Right here in the back is the exhaust ports, and they have never really gotten too hot to the feel. And this laptop as a whole has never gotten really too hot to the feel. Here is your Ethernet port, which now I'm finding out since I have it plugged in. When I was using it wireless, it wasn't much of an issue, but now that I do have to plug in an Ethernet cable over here, the upside down one is not very convenient. I wish it was more. This part, the notch, would be up top here instead of on the bottom. And then you have your dual 3.5 millimeter headphone microphone plug right there. So the only thing that was missing, and I would have really liked, is the full-size SD card reader that the new ones have, and that my Gigabyte Aero 15 OLED has. So that is pretty much that for your specs and features. So before we go into why I chose those three words, steady, fast, and entertaining, let me get the cons out of the way real quick. And con number one is going to be battery life. No matter how you look at it, this is still a pretty powerful laptop. Almost, well, it is desktop level performance if you compare it to older desktops, like say 3 or 4 year old desktops. But the battery life on that, especially if you compare it to if you're looking into MacBook Pros, the battery life is nowhere near as good as any of those. And I'm not comparing it to the battery life of a, say, thin and light laptop, because we all know those are supposed to have good battery life, but just comparing it to a similarly powered rival, like in the MacBook Pro, this does not have very good battery life. As a matter of fact, from 100% full plugged in, it pretty much within like less than an hour, it already get of just light usage. I'm already down to like 70, sometimes 60% within an hour of using this laptop. So with 100% power and with light usage, it's probably only going to last me up to 3 hours on battery life. If you plan on doing heavy things like gaming and things like that, it's going to last you even less. Number two, and number two might not mean that much to some people, but it means a lot to me, is the warranty. It's only got a year warranty of if you have the premium service, or I think you do get the premium service for 1 year, and then after that you have to pay for the extended premium service after the 1 year, which is what Dell is trying to get me to do right now. And I'm still kind of thinking about that because of what I said in the beginning of what I like, in that stability. So I'm really thinking if I should pay for another year of premium warranty service. But considering some other computer manufacturers like Corsair, and I know Corsair might be boutique, and same thing with Falcon Northwest, and they're also more expensive. But actually, if you think about it, Alienware is probably just as expensive, along with Razer, as far as the premium gaming, quote unquote, gaming laptop market goes. They're up there in price. So if you're going to be up there at price and premium, you should have a better warranty, just like how Falcon Northwest does it, or I think Origin PC, or maybe Main Gear and Corsair. They offer longer warranties for their similarly spec'd and premium laptops compared to the Alienware. Number three, the speakers. Speakers on here are okay, but they're not that great. They're definitely not what I would consider Dolby Atmos surround sound speakers, because I have listened and heard Dolby surround sound speakers. And even, when I go to Best Buy or the Navy Exchange and look at the MacBook Pros, they have way better speakers, and they don't advertise nothing like Dolby Atmos or Dolby DTS. So that's number three. Now, as I get to number four, these are probably just nitpicks for me, might not be for you. But number four, it was the delivery. If you want to get Windows 11 Pro instead of Windows Home, it's going to take you up to 2 to 3 weeks longer to get your laptop than if it had just Windows Home. So that's number four for me. And like I said, it's a pet peeve of mine. And number five, and this is probably it because I really can't think of too many cons, is the control center. The control center is still not where it needs to be. as far as like ease of use, customization, and I'm still waiting for the newest version of the Alienware Command Center, which Dell said the M15, the 12th gen Intel processors of the Alienware laptops were supposed to get the new Command Center, but it still looks like the old Command Center compared to how the newer ones looked. So I couldn't tell you if the experience with the new one would be better than this old Alienware Command Center. And the Command Center is still buggy sometimes. And if you haven't launched it in a long time, it still takes a little bit of time to launch. And number three, the BIOS. The BIOS on Alienware is not very customizable compared to other premium or, let's say, other similarly priced or competitors' laptops like MSI and even Asus have probably better and more customizable BIOS than the Alienware. Like, for example, I'm still trying to find in the BIOS where I could overclock the RAM. There's a place where you can overclock the processor and I think the GPU, but not the RAM inside the BIOS. And it's nowhere in here on the Alienware Command Center either on how to overclock the RAM. And so those are all the cons that I can basically think of at the moment. Now let's get to why I really love this Alienware M15 R7 and why I heartily recommend it. Number one, the first letter that I said, or the first word, steady. When I say steady, I mean it's steady. It's like a rock. It's very stable. In the whole more than a year that I have owned this, I've probably only experienced 3, maybe 4 crashes. And that had something to do with media player going from one display, which in this case, the Alienware's native 240 hertz display, to moving things around to the TV / monitor that I have it plugged into, my Samsung QN90A, which is only 60 hertz. So there's a crash on there every now and then. That happened when I was using media player. So I had to switch it from using Windows built-in media player to VLC media player. And with that crash or bugginess right there, it's probably not even Alienware's fault on that thing of why it would crash, right? That would probably be a Microsoft issue. But every new Windows 11 update I have had, I was preparing for the worst and thinking I might get some new bugs or crashes. Windows 11 on the whole on the Alienware M15 R7 has been pretty stable for me. So the other weird bugs I've had in this laptop was actually with DaVinci Resolve. So again, that's probably not with Alienware themselves. The only bugs I've had with the Alienware, like I said, but it wouldn't really crash the computer, is the Command Center. And that's about it. So it's been rock solid, stable, and yeah, not very many crashes or freezes since the whole year that I have owned the Alienware M15 R7. The second word, fast. This, compared to my 5, maybe 6-year-old desktop that I built right over there with the Thermaltake case, has been very fast and stable compared to that computer that I built around, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. If you guys have seen my previous videos, you will see that it almost cuts the time in half to encode a video. So like, say if I had on average a 30-minute long video for most of my reviews, and by the time I get ready to export it, the export times are super fast, almost half or sometimes even less than half of the time of the actual video itself, which for me saves my busy but a lot of time. It's been very, very fast when it comes to export times. And in DaVinci Resolve, which is my video editor of choice, other than the issue that I have explained to you guys in previous videos, as far as playback in DaVinci Resolve, it's been pretty fast in DaVinci Resolve too. Playback was pretty good. There's very hardly any skipped videos in 4K. I don't edit in 6K. All my videos are edited and shot in 4K, including the timeline. And I've had no problems with skipped playback or anything like that. So it's very fast. And although I'm not much of a gamer, I have let my nephew use this laptop, as you guys have seen in my previous video, for gaming, and he has had no issues with playing games on it. So it's a fast laptop compared to previous laptops of the Alienware. Maybe not as fast as the newer 13th gen Alienware laptops, but it could probably hang with them. And with that out of the way, let's get into the third word of why I like this: entertainment. Can we even call that a thing? Entertainment, entertaining. This laptop for me has given me tons of entertainment. Maybe not for playing video games, but for watching videos, watching YouTube, Netflix, Disney Plus, Prime videos, and other downloaded videos. It's been very entertaining. Even for someone like me, you could probably say I'm weird, I'm a geek, I'm a nerd. Editing on here has been pretty entertaining for me, just because when you're editing, or at least when I'm editing, and I'm not getting any kind of issues or any bugs or problems, to me, it's pretty satisfying, and that in a way is pretty entertaining. And even the looks of this laptop entertains me, just because when you're buying into an Alienware, you're going to get a computer that stands out from other computers, right? Everybody recognizes the Alienware branding and the Alienware look, especially the Alienware head right here. And then finding skins and other accessories for it has been a lot better than with my Gigabyte Aero 15 OLED laptop. So that in itself, putting on and installing a new skin, even the upgradability aspect for it has been, for me, entertaining. So I've had a lot of fun with this Alienware. Maybe not for gaming, but for other uses. And did I mention it's very stable? It's been very stable throughout that whole 1 year. So yeah, I'm really loving this Alienware, and I really do recommend it even now in 2023. And of course, one of the big reasons why this computer is so entertaining is that display. I don't know what Alienware has done with their current 13th gen laptops, but it was also in Jared's text reviews that a lot of their new Alienwares, the screen quality has gone down. I mean, they're still accurate. They still have, including this one or these 12th gen ones, at least for the 240 hertz Quad HD versions, they have very good and accurate display quality. You're talking about they have a validated, and this is from Alienware, 100% of the DCI-P3 and 100% of the sRGB. Adobe, it's up there too. Not probably quite 100%, but it's up there. But the previous generations, the 12th gen, this generation of Alienware laptops, at least for my version, with the Quad HD display, 240 hertz, 2 millisecond response time, they're all Dolby Vision validated or certified displays. And what does that mean? It means with Dolby Vision, you have to have a certain brightness. I believe it's like 500 nits of brightness. And this does, it gets really bright in maximum settings. And I probably don't have it in maximum settings right now because of the fact that my battery is probably going to die out pretty soon, like I said. But I've done 3, maybe 4 videos on the display quality of this Alienware M15 R7. And it's just a very beautiful and vibrant display. It almost looks like it's mini LED, not quite OLED. It has pretty punchy and good contrast and good accurate levels. And I did get this calibrated. And like I said, when I first got it and got it measured for screen brightness in a 10% window, it got almost up to 600 nits of brightness. I believe it was like 584 nits of brightness and 500 nits of brightness in HDR full screen. So it's a very vibrant and bright and contrasty, punchy display. And once I got it calibrated, it also became a very accurate display for photo and video editing. So to sum up, steady. In the whole over 1 year that I've used this computer has been very steady, very stable, not too many crashes. Like I said, probably at most 4 crashes or freezes in the whole 1 year time that I have owned this. And a lot of those crashes or bugs or freezes were not even probably Alienware's fault or Alienware hardware related issues, It was mostly software related issues within Windows and DaVinci Resolve. Number 2, fast. It's a fast laptop even till today. If you guys have seen my previous videos, the benchmark scores, even though I don't really believe too much in the benchmarks, they have shown that this is a fast computer or laptop. And doing work, video editing on DaVinci Resolve on this, and for my nephew playing games, and for me making videos has been very, very productive, very fast, good to go. No issues with doing work on this. So there's no issues with being productive on this because it's a fast laptop. It's got out of the box, even with its own Toshiba branded SSD, the SSD built in, the Gen 4 SSD that came with this was pretty fast. And now that I upgraded it to even faster SSD drives, it's been even faster with the work that I've put into this laptop for making videos and things of that nature. And then it has no problems with gaming when my nephew games on this. And then number 3, entertainment. What can I say? The looks of this laptop entertain me. Watching videos and movies on this laptop is very entertaining. With my nephew playing games on this laptop was entertaining for him. And the display is just, compared to the newer 13th gen Alienwares, this is a much better display, and that's probably the one reason why I would recommend it over the new 13th gen with the NVIDIA 40 series Alienwares, is that it's a much better looking display than those because of its brightness, because of its contrast, because it's a Dolby Vision HDR certified display compared to the newer Alienwares that only go up to 300 nits of brightness and that aren't very bright. Still accurate, but not very bright. So when you're looking at HDR performance, that means you have to have some level of brightness. And 300 nits of brightness, you're paying for an over $2,000 laptop, is inexcusable in my book for Alienware. And they should have came out with many LEDs, if not many LED displays, this same display panel that they have here on the Alienware M15 R7 would have made it a more compelling reason to get a 13th gen Alienware laptop over this 12th gen Alienware laptop. So that is it for my over 1 year long-term review of my Alienware M15 R7. It has been money well worth spent, and I can recommend it over the newer versions because of that display quality, the better display, and you're still getting fast performance, and you're going to save a lot more money for other things, like, who knows, probably like a better camera to record videos on if you're a creator, or if you're not a creator, more money to spend on games and, a gaming mouse or keyboard. The keyboard, if I forgot to mention, because I don't really type a lot, it is good. And I explained that typing experience is good on this. But the keyboard is not why I get any laptop. It's the experience as a whole. And I just said it right there, the 3 words: steady, fast, and entertaining. So with the money that you can save just getting this version, you can get a really good gaming mouse and all the video games for this laptop. Or you can buy extra storage for it, like what I did, or extra memory. At the time of making this video, Dell's website, they're all out of the Alienware M15s and the M17s. And I believe Amazon and Best Buy only have like a few left in stock. So if you guys are interested in this laptop, I will put links in the description. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does help out my channel, being an Amazon affiliate. And with that, I want to thank everybody for making it throughout this whole video. Thank you guys all for being here and watching it through the end. I greatly appreciate it. Your support means a lot to me. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at The Workout Geek for all my latest happenings and great workout tips. And with that, take care, stay safe, stay healthy, have a wonderful day, and we will see you soon in the next video.